So will this be on Twitch when we go live?
How's it going, guys? Goldenboy of TW here, and it is roll call. And joining with me today is Ben from Gathering of Gamers, also one of the guy in charge and responsible for the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge. Emily, unfortunately, is not here right now, but she should be here soon. She's doing her collegiate work, so kudos to her. So you just have a picture, and that's all you're gonna get for right now until she comes back into the show. So in any case, Ben, how's it going, man?
It's going well. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing okay. You know, just trying to have a lot of technical issues. That's why we actually started super late, but really sorry about that. I know you're a busy guy and you have a lot to do, so I didn't want to take up too much of your time.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We've got an announcement. We just had to delay it until about 8 o'clock, so that's no worries.
All right. Sorry about that. So what? Let's just get into that real quick. Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge. A lot of people from ESFI are going to be there. I'm going to be there. Emily will be there. Optic Gaming. I know those guys are going to be competing, so it's going to be pretty awesome. We have a lot of great competition. But what is the super awesome announcement that you have to make?
Well, we have about 12 minutes before we unlock 16 all-new team passes for the Modern Warfare 3 division. If anyone was tuned in yesterday, it was kind of our last day. We capped out at 32. But with a lagging Halo Reach division, we decided to cut that in half and cap that at 16 teams. And with that 16 teams that we took away from that division, we're actually able to add that to the Modern Warfare 3 division. So we're going to have kind of some last-minute team passes available for the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge.
Wow, that's amazing, man! I'm super pumped to hear. I will be casting that particular event, and super pumped for it. I've never been to Iowa before, so it's gonna be that's gonna be a gem. I'm actually going in from Chicago and then driving into Iowa with my friend Morbid Nexus. So he you know, I got to give that guy a shout out because he came up clutch for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to make it. Now let's talk a little bit about the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge. I know that a lot of you guys, I know that you wanted to create an awesome event, and you have a great group, a gathering of gamers, and I know that, you know, you guys have a nice website, and you can work real hard to promoting the scene. So talk a little bit about the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, where it started, and where it could potentially go.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to do that. Jet Set Studio is the company that I own, and we've been around since 2007. And so that company was built in order to support the video game community at gatheringofgamers.com. And so way back in 2007, that online community came online before the word social media was even around. And we determined very early that in order to connect the virtual community with live gamers, we had to host video game events. And so way back when, we actually kind of unveiled our video game event management service with a IMAX tournament here in Des Moines, Iowa at the State Science Center. Great success, had a lot of interest and a lot of success with that event. And since then, we've been doing a wide array of different types of gaming events, whether it be, you know, 2 gaming stations at a corporate booth at a convention. Maybe it's, you know, a random event in Times Square. We played Guitar Hero for Microsoft. But then each year, 3 years ago, we determined that we needed to bring, you know, our community connectivity and this unique video game event service to Des Moines once a year. And so the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, I guess, was born back in 2010. So this year is our third annual event. And last year we really took it to the next level. The first year it was kind of a cluster of everyone's equipment, and it was well ran, but there just wasn't the equipment base that you need to run a big event. And so last year we partnered with our friends over at Focus Fire, and we brought about 50 or 60 gaming stations, as well as the main stage and the live stream, and just had a really unique experience with that. And so this year we're taking everything that we learned from the 2011 event and really pushing it that much further with more divisions. We've got Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, we've got Halo Reach, and we've also got Gears of War 3. So yeah. 3 4v4 divisions, a full main stage with professionally produced live stream, and we're just super excited for March 17th and 18th, which is coming up fast.
Yeah, I know. It's surprisingly March already, which is kind of crazy considering it feels like it just hit the new year. But in any case, okay, so Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, love the name, by the way, because it just makes it sound something like ridiculously epic. It's just like you can easily slap the movie theater guy's voice to that, and just be like the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, something like that. Like, that's nuts. But okay, so now you mentioned that there was a lagging Halo division, which obviously Halo being included on the MLG Pro circuit, for Columbus, those guys are looking to gear up and all that stuff, which is kind of shocking considering that you would think that a lot of these guys would be hitting up all these events. But hey, it is what it is. But Call of Duty has been a big pull for you guys. It's been like the I guess the bread and butter for right now.
Yeah, definitely the headliner. Definitely the headliner. As I mentioned earlier, yesterday we sold out of 32 team passes, and it's still 2 weeks out. So that was very exciting. The prizing is coming from a lot of that registration. So by adding 16 more team passes, we're actually extending the amount of cash prizing that will be available for some of our top placing teams. And so with Modern Warfare 3 not having the best of LAN environments, as we all know, thanks Infinity Ward, we actually do have a good way of allowing folks to, be at that level 80 and compete in a lobby in order to have that LAN be a positive experience. And so, as you said, it's disappointing, especially with, Halo being kind of the godfather or the grandfather of all this competitive shooting stuff. It's kind of disappointing to see that, but, there's still 8 teams already locked in. We still have 8 more team passes available for that division. And then the Gears of War. I was a little surprised to see that one lag. I felt like it was going to sell out pretty quick. There's just so much support within that. We even have, Epic Games more or less, saying that this is a notable event. And so I've done these gaming events a long time, and I believe that, people are kind of a procrastinating beast. And so I believe that people will come on in and lock in as the deadline comes up. March 11th is the deadline for these new team passes for Modern Warfare and both the Halo and Gears of War divisions.
All right, cool. Well, when we come back, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, Gathering of Gamers, Jet Set Studio, all the things that you do, because I'm a big fan. And also talk a little bit about, I guess, just overall the Call of Duty scene and all that good stuff. So don't go anywhere yet, guys. Sweet stream out there. I'm Goldenboy FTW. This is Roll Call with Ben from Gathering of Gamers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I guess I'm not seeing this on Twitch. Are we live, or what's the situation?
Don't talk for a sec. Give me a sec. All right, guys, what's going on? Sorry about that. Just needed to get some things down. I needed my Google documents and all that good stuff because I was a little unprepared for this show today, considering that I was a little ill and I stood home from work. If anyone follows me on Twitter, by the way, that's my Twitter up there, and that's Ben's Twitter, by the way. Wait, hold on, there. Put your hand up, Ben. Put your hand. Point up, up. Forget it. But yeah, that's Ben's Twitter.
See it.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, Ben from GOG's Twitter. So awesome stuff there. But let's actually talk a little bit about and since Emily's not here, Ben, you're a good talker. You can help me out with this and we can spitball back and forth, kind of improvise it a little bit. That's what Goldenboy does. He keeps it fresh. So with that said, we're going to talk about some events that are going to be coming up. Besides the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, which is a live event, and we spoke about that just a little while ago. First event that's going to be happening on March 3rd, which I'll be casting, is the CSN March Mayhem Tournament. That tournament will be brought to you by Razer. They are going to have some awesome support for that as Razer is sponsoring the tournament. First place will get 4 $200 headsets and 4 Anza controllers. I know that Arctic from Team Amazing, he was a big fan of the, and also they are sponsored by Razer, but he was a fan of the Anza controller. Controllers making a big splash, Ben, which is pretty funny, in comparison to the way PC community does the mouse and keyboard thing. You have a growing controller market with the Anza, the MLG controller, the Scuff gaming controllers, which I hear are like super popular and really good. I gotta get a pair in my hands, So that's pretty interesting stuff, I must say.
Yeah.
What controller you use, Ben?
Well, hold on.
He's just like, I'm gonna get it. This is what I use. I just use a standard Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah, it's standard, but you're right. I mean, the controller market's
cable.
an interesting thing.
Yeah.
You've got all the folks that are modding them or custom designing the standard stuff, but then you have the actual, new types, which are cool, but from a competitive event perspective, you kind of fear some of these unknowns just because you want everyone to be on that level playing field. And so, as MLG tests those, and I know, some of those have been standardized, that's cool, but all these unknown controllers, you kind of have to almost not allow just in case there is, modding availability or things like that. This is mine, though.
Wow. That's with the corn. Gotta love the corn. That's the one thing I love about the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge logo is the freaking corn. It's like, you guys kill me with that. All right, so let's move on to more awesome events that are gonna be coming up for the Call of Duty community. Now, the CSN tournament is Call of Duty. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, obviously, is the game that we're playing this year, conveniently enough. And now let's talk about Europe and in the EU. One of my favorite tournaments, period, Reflex GT8. Or Reflex GT, their 8th LAN event, will take place on March 10th to the 11th, and that's going to be next weekend. It will be held in the Netherlands, which I've never been to before. One day I would like to be there, but I don't think it's gonna happen any day soon. And let's see here, and the third in the Reflex LAN series for Modern Warfare 3, fifth European LAN overall for MW3. They actually did just have a PS3 Reflex GT event, and they had a Halo one that they were both phenomenal. I had such a great time watching those events. So if you guys don't know anything about that, you can just, I think it's like Reflex at Reflex GT on Twitter or something like that. So give them a follow. And all the top teams will be there, and you can also look at ESFIWorld.com, as there will be articles and all that stuff in regards to the Reflex GT8 LAN. A little bit, it'll be awesome to see a European team come to the Pro Gaming Challenge, Ben. That'd be cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, last year we had 15 different states represented by the players. Yeah, I know.
Gotta get a country in there, Peru.
I know. Well, as we've been kind of hinting at, we have our first international event in Canada, the first weekend in May, and we're going to be offering 4v4 Modern Warfare 3, as well as Gears of War and a hockey division.
A hockey division. Well, it's Canada.
Well, it's Canada,
sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense, right? So from corn to maple leaves. It makes sense.
Right, exactly.
I'm digging
That's
it.
called. So we'll be talking a lot about that during the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge weekend, as kind of our next big event that we'll be hosting in a whole different area of North America, but that same quality is going to live, and hopefully we can even have you, Goldenboy, continue to be on a commentating team, right?
I may have to do that one from home, man. That's going to be tough to go to Canada, but I hear they have a great.
Well, no, it's right in Niagara Falls, so it's closer.
So I can take one of those buses. One of those,
Niagara Falls, bud.
I could take one of those Chinese people buses. I call it the Chinese. That sounds really wrong, but in New York we have like these bus companies that are operated by Chinese companies, and me and my wife take these tours. We went to a DC, if I'm correct, in these tours. So we might end up just taking advantage and going to Niagara Falls. Who knows? Who knows? It could be in the cards. And it'd be great to continue to work with you guys. So moving on, more events. We have more events too, guys. That's only two. One in Europe, one in the United States. That one was online. We have another online event. The Machinima Frag Cup was just announced. I think it was this week, if I'm correct, or a week ago. It slips my mind. But the Machinima Frag Cup, obviously a very, very big tournament. $10,000 in prizes on the line, or $10,000 in cash prize, something of that. So it's a lot of teams are going to be competing in that event, and I expect that to be something of a, how should I say, something of our first major for Modern Warfare 3 this year. So that's going to be great. And another interesting thing to put up, by the way, beauty of Google Docs, Prophet just updated it right in my face. That's crazy. 700 plus teams had already signed up for this tournament. That's 700 teams. They're shooting for 2,000. The tournament just opened up, and they already got 700. I think they might be able to get 2,000 plus, so that's going to be awesome.
How much money's up for grabs in that one?
That's a lot. It's about $10,000. $10,000 in cash prize. I think it's like 4,000 or something, or another for first place. And it's going to be cast by some top brass over in Machinima. Fwiz, Hastro will be coming through for that one, and APL from the Counter-Strike scene will be casting. And I think I'm going to be casting the like qualifier rounds or something like that. Not 100% sure yet. But I'm working on ego with something there. So that's going to be awesome. And here's the funny thing, though. That event is going to be the same weekend as MLG Columbus, which I guess is an interesting substitute, considering that it is going to split viewers. I know a lot of Call of Duty players enjoy StarCraft, but which will be the highlight of MLG Columbus, no less, unfortunately, in my opinion, because I'm a huge console fan. But you never know what can happen there. Any plans for you guys to be going to MLG Columbus, Ben?
Not really. I wish I could make it. Obviously, every MLG event is a party, and as much as we would like to make it to that event, we really need to pretty much leave the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge behind, at least for a little while, and focus on the Ultimate Gaming Challenge over in Niagara. So won't be in Columbus, but it'll be interesting to see how. I mean, they've just given so much clout to the StarCraft 2 crowd, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, like you said earlier, but it'll be interesting to see this different direction that it seems as though they're taking, basically just following the viewers, is what it seems like to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's understandable, and MLG just had that arena pay-per-view that just went by, and I heard, I saw and I heard that it was very, very successful. And they're going to do 2 more in the spring, so that's going to be something to look out for. The StarCraft community is willing to put in money, money to watch, and that's a big thing, money to watch, not even just play, just watch. And that, I feel like, is something that Call of Duty right now severely lacks, because everyone that watches, they're a player to some degree. And by player, I mean competitive player, not casual player. It's very difficult to get the casual player to actually watch the competitive aspect of Call of Duty, which is something I think can change. It just needs to be displayed in a better way. But obviously continue to persist, and I'm sure more people would start to enjoy it. That's why I think events like the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, sorry to drop the bomb, but I just want to say it again, like, it's good because it's a big LAN event, and that's going to be important for the competitive Call of Duty community. Also, that same weekend in Jersey, where my area is at, is going to be the NJ Halo event. I don't think they're going to have that stream because I'm going to be in Iowa, and I'm the only one that streams COD in the East Coast. I'm pretty sure they might have someone else, but so lots of, at least things are happening. You know what I mean? I know that on the ESFI, the article was Life After MLG. That's the name of the article, and I guess it kind of stands true here. Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge is in fact testament to that. It is something where it's like Life After MLG. You want to compete in a big tournament LAN, go to the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, because that's worth the time and the effort, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess I have a couple of quick thoughts for you, man. First of all, how do you think it affects this competitive or this live competitive experience when the LAN environment is so challenging to overcome? And then secondly, when you talk about the casual gamers, a lot of those folks are playing Kill Confirmed or playing some team deathmatch or, just kind of domination or demolition. With some of those game types not being ideal for the competitive experience, does it hurt that viewership by only showcasing, in our case, search and destroy and capture the flag?
Well, in regards to LAN, I think that that's a whole other discussion. You know what I mean? That's something that I think has been discussed numerous times in the past.
Yeah, 2 quick questions with 2 huge answers, right?
As far as CTF and Search and Destroy is concerned, there could be some change up as far as how what we play. Not too long ago, I had tweeted about the possibility of incorporating sabotage into competitive Call of Duty or Modern Warfare 3, as it was in COD 4. Sabotage was a very popular game type, but the problem is it was always a time issue, because sabotage games, if they don't end quick, they can go forever. They can go for like 45 minutes to an hour. But
right.
Then that raises the question, though, because that was a huge issue for MLG, right? But yet League of Legends, those games can take like hours to end. I know they can go for like an hour and a half, some games. So that, it's very interesting. It gets you thinking, well, like, why don't we try these new game types? But then also the other argument that comes into play is that the spawns in Modern Warfare 3 are straight crap. So that makes sense. So then that's when I was doing Weekly Warfare, I had proposed, okay, well, why don't we just do Search and Destroy? I thought that'd be a great idea. The COD PC community does it. It is, akin to something like Counter-Strike. But then everyone's like, oh, we need respawn. People, here's the problem, Ben. People do not like being punished for their mistakes. That's why Search and Destroy is always the least popular game type of all these, players. Search and Destroy, in a sense, is the most skilled game type because of the fact that you have to take real quality. You have to take real good care and realize that the quality of that one life you have is very important very detrimental to the success of your team. And
right.
These players do not want to do that. So they want to be able to spawn, run right into the top plat on block, or not block, you hear me, on bootleg, and then get killed, and then spawn again, run right back over there again, get killed again. So,
right.
That's always like To me, that's always the issue with these players. But that's a different topic. We can get a little bit into that later. Maybe bring in the chat involved in that one. So the last event that we have lined up is the another CSN tournament, the AverMedia Cup, which was just announced. That's going to be March 17th to the 18th. It's going to be a 128 team bracket. AverMedia will be sponsoring it. They're going to be giving away some HD broadcaster cards for first place. You know, it's a good opportunity. We had about a little less than 64 teams that signed up. They just announced the event, so it's a good opportunity to win some hardware. If you look at it, people want to be able to stream now. Everyone wants to stream. So I can only imagine if you win these AverMedias, which by the way are fantastic. They were using them at Haifa Station. I would only imagine that you would want this equipment, and you can get it for free. So, you know, that's that.
Yeah, if you can beat 27 other teams.
Hey, you just gotta have the confidence, baby. Gotta have the confidence. That's what it's about.
Is that 4v4 or 2v2?
4v4. It's a 4v4 tournament. Yeah, all these tournaments that I was talking about have been 4v4, except for NJ Halo, which runs 4v4 FFA and 2v2 as well. They're heavily dependent on the teams that are registered. On the website, they say up to $100 for FFA, up to 2v2, $500, and up to $1,200 for 4v4. That's not guaranteed. That's the amount of teams that come out. So, you know, if you guys go out there and put in the money, you will make some money. Yeah. So, all right. Now, let's just get back to you, Ben. Thank you so much for going through that section for me. That was our news and events, guys. I don't have Emily here today. Emily is usually the one that guides everything, and then I just ramble. So, with that said, let's talk a little bit about Jet Set Studios.
Okay.
What is Jet Set Studios? What do you guys do?
Sure. Well, Jet Set Studio, jetsetstudio.net is an easy way of figuring this out for yourself. But in reality, you can kind of think of it as, you know, our product is gatheringofgamers.com. This is our video game community. You know, search video game community on Google, or video game tournaments, or video game event. And Gathering of Gamers is just a kind of a staple within the social side of gaming. And so that's kind of our product at Jet Set Studio. While our service, if you will, is this video game event management. We also offer consulting for individuals who can't have our team attend and, you know, manage the entire event, but instead are just looking for some experienced insight. And so that event management stuff kind of spawns with my experience from developing a 3v3 soccer tournament back in 2006. And so event management, if anyone is familiar with that, is a lot of promotion, a lot of, you know, excitement gaining up to the event, and then also a lot of putting out fires during the event. But it's just so rewarding when you can bring it together. I mean, last year we had 400, 500 people at the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, and this year I see no reason why we won't hit more than that.
Yeah.
And to look at all these kids and look at all these folks having a great time, and then also bringing in the live stream so that people can enjoy the excitement from their homes that might not be able to make it to Des Moines. It's so rewarding, and it's a treat to do. And so, along with the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, companies, school districts, which is our Canadian event, people understand the magnetism that video game can bring to, you know, build awareness for what they might have to showcase. And so that's really where Jet Set Studio comes in. We can take that pressure of knowing how to play the game, or having a bunch of equipment, or connecting into the video game community, and we just kind of allow that to be an outsourced opportunity for folks around the country.
Okay, well, I mean, that's great. That's great. And of course, let's see here, and of course, you know, Gathering of Gamers, video game community-based websites. I've seen you guys around a lot. I know that I had a few friends that helped you guys out with things. I saw it on Twitter. It said from GOG, so that's how come I knew. So you said it was basically community-based website, something building up and just helping out, and I guess kind of just being a home for gamers, which is something you see a lot of people do. But I like what you guys do because it truly is one of those like passionate things. Everyone's kind of doing it for money. You guys, yeah, you know, money's involved. Everyone wants to make money at some point in time. But it's great to see true passion in a project like GOG.
Yeah, I mean, Gathering of Gamers is a unique beast. I mean, this is a custom-built social network, and it's a little bit outdated. I'm not going to be beating around the bush here. We built it in 2007, and it's such a beast that it takes quite a bit of resources to redesign it. So there are thoughts of doing that in the future. And so when you arrive to gatheringofgamers.com, you're not going to be, exploded with all sorts of new capabilities, but it's simple to use, and there's actually, personality behind it. You're not going to get into a flame war. You're not going to, see a bunch of nudity, and it's not going to be an all-black site that only talks about the darkest of things. It's a
like
really...
4chan.
Yeah. It's definitely a community meant for the entire spectrum of that video gamer. And I do realize that there are a lot of websites that are doing this, but I'd like to think that we have something unique. And obviously, it's something that keeps on moving on. We're about at 7,000 or so members. And so that's really, what fuels Gathering of Gamers. Gathering of Gamers fuels Jet Set Studio, and so you see kind of the Fueled by Gathering of Gamer logo on some of the shirts at MLG, and it's just been it's such a neat way of opening doors to new relationships, and meeting people like you and meeting individuals all around the country at these gaming events. That's, I think, one of the best parts about whether it be MLG, TIPGC, or any of these video game events is the people. I think gamers are naturally a little bit more savvy, sophisticated, and mature than your average, 15 to 25-year-old. And you get those all folks into one environment, and it's a party that is all about a hobby that everyone seems to enjoy together.
Wow, well, that's awesome. Now, so something to talk about real quick. You mentioned that that you consult with a lot of people, like organizers and whatnot, LAN organizers. So in this chat, there could be some people that may actually want to run their own LAN. I know that I want to run my own LAN out in New York one day.
Sure.
Who knows? Maybe that can happen. Just for fun. I wouldn't do it on a monthly basis. but
you don't want to do things monthly. People then get this sense that they can miss this one and miss the next one. You have to have
like Devastation or the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge.
Allow time for the hype to build.
Exactly. I agree with you there. So now, what would you say is the best way that people could contact you for like consulting information? Like, how can they get in touch with you if they need help in that area?
Yeah. Just as an example, we got a phone call today from a gal in Seattle who is opening, not sure if it's a LAN center or if it's just a gaming tournament hosted at another venue. She's connecting with some time for consulting. And so individuals that are looking for some insight on, the business side of doing something like this, or maybe they have questions about what games are best for the demographic that they're looking to attract. It's such a wide array of questions, but with the experience that we've built over the years, we're able to kind of put you in the express lane towards success. And so jetsetstudio.net, that's singular, jetsetstudio.net, is our company page.
Yeah.
And that's easy to find on iowaprogamingchallenge.com as well. But that has a lot more information, has some examples of our clients, a lot of photos, some of our social media activity, and it also includes, email forms and phone number in order to connect and see if it might be something we could collaborate on.
That's actually that's pretty good to know. I mean, because I know I might be hitting you guys up, and I noticed that you guys are a fan of Jet Grind Radio, if I'm correct.
I don't want to be too whorish, but the fact of the matter is we're friends with almost everybody. A lot of people, have this allegiance and hate that person, and we've just taken a much more friendlier, kill them with kindness type of an approach. And I think people see that genuine nature of not only Jet Set Studio, but Gathering of Gamers, the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, and we go to MLG events and we get the hospitality suite and we host parties. So it's not hard to enjoy what we offer in the gaming community.
Yeah, I know. Well, like Like the game Jet Grand Radio or Jet Set Radio. I just love that name. I just love Jet Set. I've always been a fan of that. So it's just like.
Well, do you know the definition of the term jet set?
No.
It's an elite group of people that travel the world doing lavish and fabulous things.
Wow. So there you go. Jet Set Radio, Jet Set Studios, lavish and fantastic all the way through. Now
we saw that definition as we were building the business, and just had to find a way to use it.
To incorporate it. That makes sense. All right. So now, all right. So we you mentioned about people getting hyped up because just a second ago we were talking about the LAN events and how it's not really good to do them monthly. Something of a yearly thing like Devastation or Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge. So now, what are your regards? What do you think? What do you think is missing in regards to MLG not announcing Call of Duty yet for MLG? Do you think that kind of created more hype for it than what it should have? Because that obviously was like it was a big blow to our community. They didn't say a single word about it. They had Weekly Warfare. I was a part of that. I had no idea. We all thought it was going to be there, but then the hype went so high, then just fizzled out. So, do you think that sometimes overhyping things is a bad thing? I guess would be the question.
Well, I mean, I think not much farther than just the gaming industry. Overhyping and not delivering, is a big problem, and you can get a bad reputation by doing that. And I don't think, MLG is an example of that. They're just looking to gain hype from, that FPS community.
Yeah.
And so for them to kind of leave people on the hook, they do that, I think, on purpose. I mean, look at how in the past they've waited a long time to announce that next event. And by doing so, they're selling team passes out in days, and so they have a unique experience with such a big market share. They're able to do those type of things. But if you're running a smaller event, one of the biggest things about this gaming industry is that you have individuals who, go into it for the money, realize that, a small event is not going to make a lot. And you go to this event and almost get, shystered. You're promised money or promised prizes, and you don't get it. And that's going to immediately kill your reputation.
That has happened a lot. That has happened a lot.
It does. And there's a side of me that I believe the gaming industry is still immature. There's a lot of new things that are happening in this industry, and one of the reasons I believe that this happens, no offense to the younger businessman, but you have a lot of young adults building businesses, not understanding the responsibility that goes into it. Yeah. And so there's a lot of fly-by-night type of things happening still in the gaming industry. And so, when you come across Jet Set Studio, MLG, some of the people that have been doing this so long, those are the folks that I think are now rising, out of the weeds a little bit because we have the credibility built over such a long period of time. And there's many, many others that have that type of credibility. But the gaming industry is just kind of unique. You don't have, 15-year-olds starting an insurance company. So that's...
I'll be worried if that ever happens, by the way.
It's an interesting conversation, to say the least, and I don't want to go off on too much of a rant here, but it's something that I've experienced, some of that immaturity, but also then when you see those mature people coming your way, you almost embrace that and work even better with them because you appreciate them as almost a minority. And so that's been something I've experienced, I suppose, over the 5 or 6 years of being in the game. I don't know, in the industry. Maybe not, I don't know.
Well, guys, I'm going to find out what's going on because I know Emily is actually here, and she might join the call or not, so you won't be looking at two dudes the whole time. So we're going to figure that out real quick, see if we can get Emily in here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Don't rebel like Corey Dunn. He rebelled against me. Tweet the stream out, like I said before. I'm here with Ben from Gathering of Gamers, Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, Jet Set Studio, the lavish lifestyle of the Jet Set.
Hey, one more thing. If you're tweeting, use the hashtag TIPGC.
There you go. Just pronounce
that'll land you on the homepage of our tournament site. and allow you to connect with a lot of others using that same hashtag.
Awesome. I use it all the time when I talk about Pro Gaming Challenge. When I booked my flight, I was like, going to Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, hashtag TIPGC. I was so happy about that when I bought my ticket. So, all right, guys, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And, yeah, stay right there. Oh, sorry about that. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Goldenboy FTW here. Unfortunately, I don't think Emily was able to join. I called her, and she didn't answer. So, it's all right, you know? I mean, it is what it is. We'll get her for next week, so don't even worry about that. Okay, so moving on, because I think we're looking pretty good to close this one out here in just a bit. Just want to talk about some of the a few more things. There was a question brought up on with ESFI, and this is something they wanted me to ask you what your thoughts were. A lot of discussion about a pay-to-play model league with possible LAN finals, Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge setting themselves up real nice or something like that. What do you think, what are your opinions on this kind of model for something like Call of Duty?
Explain the question once again. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. You know, I was staring at the logo behind you, so I was a little taken away as well. I was saying was that there's been a lot of discussion about pay-to-play models with leagues, and then like leading up to a LAN finale. You know, like I said, Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge sets itself up real nice or something like this. What is the possibility of something like this coming to fruition, and what are your opinions on it overall?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that question to our live chat participants. Really, you think of that as a kind of the snowball model, allowing that hype to grow through participation. And we did a kind of a flavor of that this year. We were approached by Frag Nation, who does online tournament stuff, and they wanted to have kind of a pre-TIPGC online tournament. So we said, all right, that's cool. We'll give away a team pass for the winners of each division. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of that snowball effect in very short terms.
Yeah.
As far as having a league in order to move towards playoffs and then the LAN experience, I think that would be very cool. I think that would be a neat way of really maximizing everyone's opportunity to get involved. It would create more hype and more involvement. It's a time, though. I mean, it really comes down to how much time you're willing to commit towards that entire life cycle of the league. not to mention the actual LAN experience for the playoffs or finals. So I'm on the fence. I think it's a great idea. Do we have the resources to have a 6-month, league that ends at the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge? Maybe not, but maybe it's a collection of events around North America that
could lead to
combine.
that. Yeah.
What's that?
That could lead to that, correct?
Right. So you have, I hate to use MLG as an example, but really you have kind of the circuit events around the country kind of connecting into that finale, if you will. And so that's something that we've been thinking about, obviously with the similar name for our Canadian event, having the challenge in there. They're not directly affiliated, but they are. So we're still kind of trying to figure all that out. And as we hopefully continue to have some success with these regional events, we've got people in Georgia that want to have one. It'd be really cool. It'd be in an aviation museum. So imagine a gaming event surrounded by fighter jets, total sick stuff. The LA County Fairs. So we've got some clients that might be willing to host these regional events. And if we were able to get, for instance, 4 to 6 events in a year, that would warrant something of that snowballing effect that we're talking about.
No, it's very interesting to see there. I mean, I know that Hypha Station did it with Beyond Gaming. They had some online qualifier events, and it was something like a little bit of like a stipend or something like that you won, and then you'd be able to go to the Hypha Station event. There was a team that actually went, and they went pretty far into the bracket too, which is pretty funny to point out. But all right, well, I mean, that's good to know, and glad to see that that's something that could happen for the Iowa Programming Challenge in the future.
And the fact is, I mean, you mentioned Hypha Station, and it's been a pleasure getting to know some of the folks that are involved with that group. It might not just be the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge and the Missouri Pro Gaming Challenge and the Georgia Pro Game. It might be a collection of events that can somehow align themselves in order to offer something like that. And so really when it comes to community collaboration, this is not something we're afraid to talk about because we understand that, people in Cali and people in New York and Florida and everywhere around the world can't always make it to the Midwest and vice versa. And so if we could collect, a group of with similar goals, events that have the similar flavor of quality, that could also lend to that idea as well.
All right, so New York Pro Gaming Challenge. Are we going to make this happen?
When and where, baby? I love New York.
Let's do it. I'm down with it. New York City. We're gonna get a garage. We'll use mine. We'll get some Xboxes and we'll throw it together. I'll make it happen, and we'll get some confetti. It'd be the bomb.
I'll meet you at the top of the rock.
That's right. We'll do it in the Bronx. Everyone will get shot. Anyway.
Loser, you die, bitches.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so talking about some people that will be attending the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, some names you guys might recognize, besides myself, and if you guys are going to Iowa...
There's someone else?
You should be there only for me. But there are some other people. You may know them. Nate Shot, Big Timer, Nameless, Solo, Sidrock, one of my personal favorites. Proofy is a possibility, the reality show star himself. Not 100% confirmed, we don't know. And of course, ESFI staff, EmmaleighKate, who's in the chat, E-Memories, she's the bomb. And she's like right there, over there. And yeah, she's not here though. It's her fault. Blame Emily. And of course Justin Whitman from ESFI and Paradox, iParadox. He's a funny dude. So a lot of good guys are going to be there. Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge is going to be amazing. Also, one last thing to mention, or actually two more things to mention, and then I'm going to do a little rant for you guys at home about COD. First thing first, ESFI will have some awesome gear, and hopefully, I think that UMAD Gear might be a part of that. UMAD Gear was supporting the COD 4 Throwback Tournament I was doing, which, by the way, is rescheduled until next week, unfortunately, because Rival did not have 2 of their members on, so I could not do the tournament. I didn't feel right doing it, and on top of that, it was way too many stream issues. Hopefully, I can get that resolved by next week. So that's going to be pretty cool. So it'll be delayed. You can blame me for it. I don't care. But, it is what it is. And then last but not least, David Hilscher, Vice President of Turtle Entertainment, the company that owns ESL. And they also bring the Intel Extreme Masters Tournament. Would actually like to meet with leaders of the competitive Call of Duty community. ESFI's Call of Duty content director has willingly accepted to help gather a list of people to have him meet with. Some big things that ESL wants to plan out there. So if you want to get involved, if you are one of those guys and you know that you have a voice and you want to make that voice heard, contact one of the guys from ESFI. Don't contact me though. I'm kidding. But you can, you can always bring it my way. I have some ideas too. So, Ben, I'd like to thank you very much for joining me on the show today. You are the bomb. Any last thoughts you want to say?
I think I'd like to give a shout out to all of our hashtag TIPGC folks.
Nice.
It's one of the only searches that I have on my Hootsuite and in my phone, and I enjoy watching people really connect through the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge. And so when it comes to March 17th and 18th, folks, I hope you'll tune in. Check out IowaProGamingChallenge.com. We're expecting over 350,000 viewers in the 2 days, and our goal, don't tell anyone, but I believe we could hit 1 million. And you'll see our friend here, Goldenboy, and an assortment of great other commentators. It's going to be a very unique event, and we sure appreciate the support, not only from the COD community, but also the Halo and the Gears of War teams as well. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and it's been a pleasure. Thanks, Goldenboy.
Thank you. And also, one last thing to point out, the additional 16 passes for the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge is, in fact, live now. So if
crap, I got to go.
Yeah, if you got to manage that. And on top, but if you're in the chat and you want to go to Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, you could do what I do, fly into Chicago, really cheap, $168 was my plane ticket, and then you just drive into Iowa. It's about a 4-hour drive. If you want to fly in with me, let me know, and we can organize that. You can
wait till you see the commentating hospitality suite, my friend.
Oh, that's gonna be fantastic! I can't wait for that. Gonna have some burgers, So I know. Guy Blaze is he's a chef. He's a professional chef. He's gonna be cooking for us. That's gonna be dope. I mean, I'm so pumped for that.
Well, he's the chef and I'm the bartender, so party on.
That's right, and I will be that guy. That guy that everyone will love.
Don't worry, we'll have green beer. I recognize it's St. Patrick's Day. My last McDougal. Turns out we're going to party as well.
Nice. Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge is going to be the bomb. I'm so pumped to be there. And Ben, thank you so much for the opportunity to let me cast, because that really is something special. So I appreciate it. First live event I've actually done since Providence, besides NJ Halos, but those were self-done productions. This is the first production that I've done with another company since Providence. So thank you very much.
Oh, wait till you see what we got planned on the live stream, my friend. You're gonna feel good and look even better.
I want pyro when I enter in, like Kurt Angle. Just want some pyro. All right, well Ben, thank you so much. Now, before we close the show out, and Ben, you can feel free to interject with some thoughts if you want. But I did want to speak about a few things. This rant actually is not going to cater specifically to Call of Duty, but just I think in general to what my thoughts on the console competitive community is all about. And this would be a quick one. Basically, one of my issues is that I feel as if, I guess you could say it's a little Call of Duty related. You see it all over the place, but in this instance, I guess you could say so. So CSN has been throwing up these tournaments. Lots of people have been throwing up tournaments out there, and there's something I got to say about that. Work together as a community. Try not to overstep each other in that tournament front. I'm being tweeted now by like 10 different people on a regular basis telling me, hey, retweet this because I have a tournament going on today. I'm like, all right. How about everyone pulls together and actually tries to work together? I understand everyone wants to make their own statement. They want to put their own footprint on the competitive scene and be that guy that saved competitive Call of Duty, whatever. But there's no reason and there's no rush. There's a crap ton of tournaments going on in March. Let's stop clogging March up and let's start planning for April. Let's start planning for the rest of the year that right now looks very, very bare. We have a LAN event going on in March. We have 3 online tournaments going on in March. I think, and that's not even counting the European event. So I think that's enough. And we kind of just need to set our focus on the rest of the year and continue to grow, because while this ESFI is in fact called Life After MLG, bear in mind that we are going to continue to grow. We will continue to prosper, despite what anyone else says. People are going to, all the time. One of my closest friends was even telling me, "Stop supporting COD. It's a waste of time." And I have to tell them, no, it's not to me. I actually really do enjoy what I do. It is stressful and I don't get paid for it, but I do like it and I'm passionate about it. So I hope that people out there follow that same passion, but work together. Let's all work together. Let's not, all just, and if you're a small promotion, work with other smaller ones. I understand everyone wants, 1,000 Twitter followers and they want, 200, 300 subscribe or I guess followers on Twitch. But the fact of the matter is that stuff does nothing for you. 5,000 Twitter followers does nothing for me. I have 5,000 Twitter followers and there are 60 people in the chat. So out of that 5,000 people that I've tweeted to, right, only maybe I'd say 40 people responded. Hey, thank you so much, 40 people. I greatly appreciate it. So what I'm trying to get at is that at the end of the day, you need to realize that we have to work together to make this happen. Competitive Call of Duty is not going anywhere. We're going to thrive next year. We're going to thrive the year after that. This is a bump in the road. Let's just make this happen. So with that said, I'm going to close out the show. Ben, thank you so much. You have any thoughts you want to put in on that, unless you want to close it out on that note?
Yeah, I mean, this is your show, my friend. I don't want to dilute the rant.
Dilute the rant. Oh, one last thing. This is just for my friend, my co-caster and good friend Corey Dunn. ESEAnews.com. Go to that website. Big Counter-Strike 1.6 Source and TF2 tournament going down this weekend. Casting by Corey Dunn and my good friend Jimmy Wisenhunt. So I'm super, super pumped to see that this weekend. So you make sure you check that out. And I think that's it. So, Ben, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
My pleasure. Let's fill up those last 16 team passes, my friends.
Yes, let's get those. I will tweet it out there. I will spam my Twitter. And everyone out there should spam their Twitter too. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Roll Call. Stay tuned next week. We're going to start on time. We're hopefully going to have the Call of Duty 4 finals. If not, I'll do them at another time on my personal channel. But whatever the case may be, Emily would be back. Expect pyro, confetti, maybe midgets driving vehicles. Who knows? There could be so much. But you got to tune in. So 8:30 next week, Thursday. Don't go anywhere, guys. Or go now, but come back later on. So, guys, Goldenboy FTW here. Ben from GOG, thank you so much for joining me, and have a great night.